going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In the previous video, you saw we picked up a beautiful Polaris Predator 500 for 500 bucks. And I'm actually staring at that beautiful piece of artwork just behind you guys. And we're gonna take a closer look at that in just a moment here. I have the motor right here. You can see it's in mint condition. It's basically ready to be thrown in, and it's basically, 100% together. Not really, but what I did is I disassembled it partially just to kind of go over and inspect a couple of the pieces. Of course, I'm gonna have to crack these cases. God only knows what we'll find in there. Hopefully everything's good to go. But what I wanted to do was basically see what it's gonna take in parts to get this thing ready for the trails. It's looking pretty good, but let me give you a closer look. Before I jump into that, please give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying these videos. Also leave a comment in the comment section below. That helps me out big time. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Hit that notification bell so you're alerted whenever I put up a new video. A lot of you guys are not subscribed, like literally 70% of you. Helps me out big time, so definitely consider hitting that subscription bell if you're interested in this content. All right, guys, so check it out. We will start with the body over here. So I've got the plastics off. I took a moment to break everything down just so that we could at least get a better eye on like the frame and what's going on in here. It's ugly. Oh my God, dude, this grab bar. Junk, man. Total junk. So I kind of just went around everything. Everything is pretty tight for the most part. A-arms and everything feel pretty tight. This tie rod back here is bent, I noticed. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. It's kind of got a belly in it, and that actually might be why this thing is out of alignment. You can see how towed out it is. It's pretty bad, actually. And the one side, it's a little bit loose. So I'm gonna get new tie rod ends and new tie rods. Might as well just do both sides. The steering is a little bit loose. I'm probably gonna do the bearing at the bottom, the bushing at the top. And I showed you guys last time, but I'll give you a better look here. This is that super ugly weld, dude. Oh man. And then this one up here, that was for a stabilizer that was on it at one time. This will get shaved off and painted, so you'll never even know it was there. And then this, I'm either gonna cut that off, or I'm gonna see if I can get a decently priced aftermarket steering stem with anti-vibe clamps. I'm just gonna replace, I'll probably just toss that thing and replace that, because I do want to get better bars. These OEM ones are kind of junk. They probably have a lot of flex in them and stuff. I don't like running those. I'm gonna see if I can get a better thumb throttle. I just think that the Polaris ones look and feel junky. These grips are trash. I don't know if these are the original grips. You can actually see the Polaris logo on there. These might be the OG grips, which would actually be kind of legit, because even though they're worn, they're not so worn that they're like, that's an indicator that there might not be that many hours on the quad. It might just be really beat up and just been sitting for a long time. I don't know, but we're gonna get new grips anyways. The swing arm bearings may actually be good, but I'm just gonna replace them while everything is off. Got to get a new chain slider. That thing's trash. Carburetor definitely needs to be rebuilt. I was showing you guys before. Doesn't even move, so I definitely want to rebuild that. Get some jets for that, because we're gonna be doing some modifications. We're gonna have to jet it. The air filter we're gonna need. Luckily, he actually gave me a K&N, so we're good there. Gonna be swapping out the tires. Tires on this 400 are actually in pretty good shape. I'd say they're probably 75%. And this is the quad that I'm gonna be building for Mechanical Hulk. He chose this one instead of the yellow one. He wanted the suspension components, the extended A-arms and whatnot. So I'm gonna be putting new tires on this. I'll take the tires from this one, put it onto the Predator. The reason that I wanna do that, I mean, you could actually survive with these, but you can see the front probably from the toe. These have a very odd wear on them. I don't wanna run them. And the tires in the back are actually beast, straight up beast mode, those bear claws, but I guarantee they're super heavy. They're 6-ply, they're 22s. It's probably difficult to drift around corners with it, and I just don't want to run them. They're way too heavy for what I want to do, so that's why I think those 20-inch Kendas will be much better. The sprocket is shot. All the teeth are starting to look like a saw blade, so definitely sprockets front and rear. The back brakes actually look pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see in there, so I think I can probably get away with those. Battery is totally shot. I'll get a new battery for it. I put it on the tester and it is done, man. Up here, this one stay, you can see this one here. That's the rear plastic stay. This one is snapped off. I'm not going to buy that. I'm actually going to replace it. It hooks onto the back of the plastics here. You can see the plastics have some cracks back here. I'm gonna reinforce that by making probably a piece of aluminum that goes like this, and it'll bolt here and then up here, and that should reinforce that on the plastic. Otherwise, The plastic's actually in really good shape. That white should clean up really nice. I'll get rid of those junky ass safety stickers because of course we're gonna ride with 2 people on this thing. Seat cover is in good shape. Front plastics are in good shape. Apparently the front lights work. I didn't test them, but I mean, honestly, that's not really critical to get this thing rolling, but I'm sure we can get them going. These things are definitely gonna go. I really like to keep things kind of OEM looking, or at least like, I'll try to make something a little bit cleaner. I just don't really like the look of that. Some other things, I will probably get a bumper for this thing because this is a pretty sorry bumper. I mean, it works, but you know, for the price of a decent looking bumper, I think it's just a good upgrade. Of course, gonna get rid of this thing and get a nice grab bar. This thing is just twisted up, mangled, it's missing a bolt, and it's just junk. So that's gonna go. So that just about does the chassis. Now moving on to the motor, I pulled the clutch pack apart. You can see this has the half disc in here. I hate these things. I always get rid of them and do the full fiber mod. If you guys don't know what that is, if you look at the other plates, you can see this one is thinner than this is. It's for making the clutch feel smoother and everything. It's supposed to, it just feels nice, I guess. They usually do that out of the box. I don't like running them because clutch is only as strong as its weakest link. So this plate usually wears out faster. The rest of the pack actually looks okay. There's a little bit of surface rust and stuff on this just because this motor's been sitting for so long. I believe all that will clean up and this pack should actually be okay. I think these are heavy duty springs. I don't know. If you're a Predator guy, let me know. Do the springs always have the red in the middle? That usually is an indicator that it is a different weight spring. So if these are heavy duty springs, I'm actually pretty happy with this clutch pack. The basket looks okay. It is slightly grooved, but not bad. So I can clean that up with a file. The inner hub, I don't really feel the grooves. I think we'll be safe there. I don't need to replace this. Like I said, I can clean them with a file. I did the same thing with the KFX and it runs really great. And like I said, the center cases, we just won't know until we open it up. So hopefully it's good. I showed you guys in the last video. Crank is shot. I don't want to run this piston. The piston measured just under 99 millimeters. I believe that's stock. Depending on how much the parts cost for this thing, I'm either going to go with a 560 big bore kit if the parts are reasonable for this thing. Otherwise, I'm just going to do a high compression piston, probably like a 12.5-to-1. We'll see what's available. We're going to hop on the computer in a second here. Chain slider, the cam chain sliders look good. The cam chain feels good. I don't think we are going to need a new cam chain. I inspected the head, pulled the cam cap off, looked at the cams and everything. Everything looks pretty good in there. I don't think we'll need to have any problems with this. I am going to port this. I'll probably do a medium port on this. It depends. If I get a big bore kit, maybe I'll do a heavy port. Otherwise, I'll probably just go medium on it. And then what's nice about this head, I really like this actually, is there's like, it's like a spot right here to sign it. Pretty cool. So yeah, I will port this. I will clean up our valves, make sure the seats are good and everything. And we're getting a nice good seal and everything on there. Cylinder checks out really good. I mean, I don't know if you guys will really be able to tell, but it's not bad. So I will hone that, make that nice and fresh. Or if we get the big bore kit, we'll be getting a new cylinder. These are the side covers here and here. I will be advancing the timing probably 5 degrees. And that will probably be the extent of my mods. Now moving over here, we have all of the other parts. We've got the OEM exhaust. That's probably gonna go on eBay. That's actually in pretty good shape. And then this DG, man, oh my God. Man, this is in some sorry condition. Look at that thing. The tip is all effed up. And it's just like the aluminum tip is corroded. The pipe itself is rusted. I mean, I could wire wheel that and flat black it and it probably will look fine. But I bet you it has to be repacked also. And I just have a feeling that these bolts are gonna be seized and stuff. Not sure if I'm gonna mess with that. That's the gasket kit that came with it. It looks like a decent gasket kit. I've never heard of this brand, but it looks like a name brand. I mean, I don't know, AHL, Tong Tong Trade. I don't know. But the gaskets appear good. Usually the Chinese gaskets, they have no labeling at all. I'll show you a kit right here. This is a kit for the 400EX. It's just like on cardboard. That other one at least has some branding on it, so could be a decent kit. There is the used crank. I believe he bought this from eBay or from a motorcycle store. You can see it says 110 on there, so this was probably a motorcycle shop, and it was probably 110 bucks for it. Feels good though, so we'll be running that. Got some new brakes there. Got the service manual. The K&N filter is right there. Owner's manual right there. Got a sweet ass NGK bag. Nice. New spark plug, high flow oil filter. And this is just some other miscellaneous stuff. The oil tank, some bolts and stuff. I did notice a few missing bolts and I marked them down. It's likely that when we do get to putting this thing together, we're probably going to start coming across some missing things. Bolts I can usually come up with. If it's for the motor, sometimes you got to make the order and get the special bolt, because that's one area you don't want to skimp out on, is the motor bolts. And yeah, so I have my list right here. I got 29 items on here. So let's hop over to the computer and see what we can do price-wise. Probably do eBay. All right, guys, we are here on eBay. Let's just get started with the tie rod ends. Those were definitely loose. Let's see if we can find a good cheap set. Got tie rod ends here. That's for a Polaris Predator 90. Let's see what we can find. Let's go price plus shipping, lowest first. Looks like they're about 17 bucks a pop. Hopefully we can get a set here in a 4-pack at a discounted rate. Well, I fished around for a little bit, guys, and I did find these here, and these are $28.36 for all 4 tie rods. This should fit the Predator. It says 03 to 06, but I believe it will fit the 07 as well. Should be no problem with those. Add to cart. All right, next, let's see if we can find our chain. Got the 520, I like gold. This is the same chain that I used on the KFX 450R and on the 400EX with the 416 kit and everything. This is a really solid chain. I've never had problems with it. It is a roller chain and it's gold. I think gold chains are the cleanest looking ones, and they last, man. A lot of people were giving me crap for running a cheap chain. I'm telling you, man, they're not as bad as you might think. And we're gonna have a DRW case saver on this thing anyways. So if this thing blasts off, it won't even matter because the case is going to be protected. $17.59 is a steal, free shipping. Add to cart. All right, let's see if we can get some front wheel bearings, because those wheel bearings were shot. We'll do price lowest first. Let's go down the list here. Let's see if we can get a kit with both sides, because even though the one side feels like it may be okay, definitely want to make sure that we're replacing both of them, because usually when one goes, the other side's about to go. This is Boss bearing. 1979. Add to cart. Now I was feeling a clutch cable and it feels pretty seized up, so we're gonna go ahead and order a new clutch cable. Go lowest to highest. Let's see what we can get here. We definitely want to get a new one. I'm not looking for a used one. $9.98 with free shipping. I think this might be OEM. I don't know. It has the little boot on it and everything. It's a clutch cable. We'll give it a shot. Should be all right. Add to cart. All right, and I did notice on the motor a couple of the oil seals look pretty bad. So I would like to replace those. $13.87. Not going to get much cheaper than that. Windorosa is a good name. Vertex is a good name. So let's get them. Add to cart. All right, guys. So our cart total is $86.62. We are going to be buying more parts. Now, unfortunately, some of the parts that I already purchased were either used or they were the last item. So I can't add it in the cart and show you the total. But what I can do is show you guys the actual parts that I purchased. So this is an OEM skid plate. I could get an expensive one, but I didn't want to run with absolutely no skid plate at all. These OEM ones are kind of janky, but it's better than nothing. $10 to $12.80 shipping, so it's like $23. Worth it to me. So I picked this up. It actually already came in the mail. The next item I already purchased is this chain slider. This is only the one side I needed. You know, I could probably get away with the one that I have, but it has like a little crack in the side, and I kind of just don't want to run that. For $16 shipped, it's worth getting this one. I was not able to find a new one on Rocky Mountain ATV. I think this is a discontinued part. 16 bucks, no problem, add to cart. The next thing I purchased was a Shindy carburetor kit. You can buy these still on eBay. This was just the cheapest one that was on there, and I made an offer of $20, so I couldn't bring up the exact price and everything. But I already purchased this. It's a Shindy. I do like the brand Shindy. They're usually pretty good quality. You got to be careful with some of the Chinese kits, you know, especially with carburetor stuff. Like, this is precision stuff. You don't want to be going with Chinesium, you know. So went with the Shindy. The next item I bought that was used is a 400EX thumb throttle. Dude, honestly, I think that Honda makes the best thumb throttles. This one looks like it's in pretty good shape. Comes with the strap on the bottom and all the screws and everything. There were some knockoff ones, but they were like only $5 less. So I figured I would get a genuine Honda. It's $49 with free shipping. That's going to make the thumb throttle just feel a lot better. I'm telling you, man, that Polaris thumb throttle is junk. This is going to be an awesome upgrade. Add to cart. Another thing I bought was a bumper for the front. I don't actually need this, but some people were actually complaining that I didn't put a bumper on the 400EX. But you got to remember, that was a budget series. So we were trying to save every dollar that we possibly could. But a front bumper really is a nice upgrade. It just changes up the look of things and makes it look like a more premium piece. So I got an AC bumper for it. This was the last one, apparently, at least right now. This is such a classic bumper. You know, I think it's a really good look, nice clean look. It was 80 bucks and $8.04 shipping. A little bit pricey, I guess, but not too bad. So that will bring up the front of the bike, definitely. Add to cart. All right, guys, now there's one other thing that we have to get, and that is a grab bar. So let's see what we got here. What? Dude, these were... Oh, man. Are you... This is a really nice grab bar. These were not here like a few days ago when I actually bought all these parts already. This is a... Man, I would have bought this. This is a nice grab bar. Dude, I swear none of these were here. There were no XFR grab bars. Man, what? 45 bucks. These are nice grab... All of a sudden, there's all these grab bars on here. I couldn't find anything the other day. Man, that's some bullshit. Oh, oh man. Oh, man. Well, I did get a nice grab bar for it. So here's the grab bar that I ended up getting. It's the DG Fat Series. These are nice grab bars. I definitely would have got that one with the nice big bar in the back. I like that style. But this is a great upgrade. You know, anything is better than the spoiler that we have on there. So, add to cart. All right, guys, now we're going to move on to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Rocky Mountain is probably my #1 source for OEM parts. They have pretty much anything that you could possibly need for almost any bike. The only time they don't is if it's a discontinued part, but for the most part, they have pretty much everything. And they have some other good stuff that we're going to be picking up also. Now, to save you guys the painstaking process of going through all of the OEM, you know, bolts and washers and stuff that I noticed missing, I've already added all those items in my cart. So you can see here, it's like spacers, just a rubber damper, bolts, washers, just all kinds of stuff like that. When I went over the bike, I just looked for things that were missing. Here's that tie rod that we need to replace. That was 3413, washers, chain slider for the rear swing arm. Pretty much any OEM part you can possibly think of, Rocky Mountain is going to have it. All right, now aside from the OEM parts, I do want to get some new grips. So we're going to go ATV grips. Now, I'd normally go with Pro Taper grips. I love my Pro Taper grips, but I kind of want to try something new. So I did spot these grips here. They are by Torque One, called Hot Laps. And they had really good reviews, so I want to give them a shot. I'm going to get the blue ones because I think that'll give it kind of a unique look. Pretty cool. Add to cart. Now, our rear carrier bearings were totally shot. So Tusk actually makes a rebuild kit for the Predator 500. I couldn't find a full billet carrier, or I would just do that. But for 40 bucks, we'll get new bearings here. Add to cart. Next, we're going to get a swing arm bearing kit. You know, the bearings that are in there could be okay, but I'd rather not risk it. While everything's apart for 50 bucks, it just makes sense to put new bearings in here. Those things have been sitting in the elements. You know, it's just wouldn't make sense not to do it. Let's just get them. Add to cart. Next thing I want to get is sprockets. So we have a JT sprocket here. I'm getting a 37 tooth. I believe stock is 38. What's nice about Rocky Mountain is they have this thing right here that says show stock sizes. Front tooth or front sprocket is 14 tooth. Rear sprocket is 38. So I want to get a 37 for the rear, which will increase the top speed, but decrease the power, you know, coming out of the hole. But we're going to be adding so much power to this quad anyways that I actually want that because things going to be doing wheelies all day long. So we'll get a 37 tooth, add to cart. And for the front sprocket, we have 14 tooth is the stock. So we're actually going to get a 15 tooth, increasing the front sprocket. We'll do the same thing that decreasing the rear would do. We're going to increase the top speed and take a little off of the bottom end power. But like I said, we're just going to have so much power that it's actually what I want. Now for the handlebars, I'm going with another brand that I don't typically use, and that's ODI. ODI makes great grips, and it's a good name. So I'm going to test them out. The only one that I could find with the ATV Racer bend was in silver. I think black would actually look a little bit more trick, but we'll try them out. The ATV Racer bend, I looked at the specs. They do have them listed down here on Rocky Mountain, and it looks like the kind of specs that I would probably like. So we're going to try it out. 60 bucks, not bad. Add to cart. All right, we can't forget about the battery. That one was totally shot. So Tusk offers a great economical battery. You guys know me with batteries. The cheaper brands tend to work pretty good. So for 40 bucks, I feel like I can't really go wrong, and this should be a direct fit. Add to cart. One other thing I want to add that just kind of updates the feel of the bike. I just like to have nice controls. I think that's really important. That's why we're going with the thumb throttle and new grips and everything. I want to get this Pro Taper Sport clutch. It's just a nice clutch perch, makes adjusting the clutch cable really easy. It's cheap enough. It's $27. Add to cart. All right, now let's hop into our cart. We've got all our OEM parts and everything up top, and here are the parts that we just added. Our total is $435.65. Not too bad considering we only paid 500 bucks for the bike. Now let's add some power mods. All right, we're here on BP Racing ATV. BP Racing has tons of parts pretty much for any motor that you can possibly think of when it comes to power sports. So we're gonna go to Predator. Typically you can, you know, go into one of these drop-down menus and pick the bike that you want. Unfortunately, Predator is such a small category, but they do have stuff. You gotta just type it in. So we go to Predator, and they've got a couple kits here. So this one right here has the big bore kit, and it's got hot cams. for $1,099. Now, the reason this kit is so expensive is actually because the cylinders are really hard to get for these things. So, you know, parts are getting really scarce for the Predator 500. This is not a bad deal. You're not gonna, it's hard to find big bore kits and parts in general for the Predator. It's awesome that BP offers this stuff. So this comes with a 105mm cylinder, either a CPJE or Wiseco forged piston, piston rings, wrist pin, circlips, top end gasket kit, and stage 1 cams. That's what I'm gonna go with, man. Let's make this ATV have some balls. Add to cart. And last but not least, I picked up one of these DMC Alien exhausts. Some of you guys are probably familiar with these. Like back in the day, this was, I don't know, I thought it was like one of the most badass exhaust systems. I mean, performance-wise, I don't really know. I know DMC is a good name. This is a discontinued exhaust. I found one in pretty good condition, almost like new, on Craigslist, and I got it for 250 bucks. After shipping, it came out to about $275. It's a complete system. I have heard that the OEM header is actually very good performing on the Predator, but I think the DMC may be a little bit better. I don't know. I will measure the inner diameters and everything. I'm going to be porting the head on this, so I'll port it according to this exhaust. But it's definitely a badass looking exhaust, that's for sure. And the ones that came with this one, that DG, are wasted, so this should be a come up. All right, guys, so now I don't typically show all of my parts and price list until after the build and I do a budget video. But since I ordered from so many different locations here, I did want to show you guys just the basic list here. So now some of the prices may be slightly different only because I did a little bit of shopping around and some of the prices I was actually able to beat. But you can see it starts at the top with the DMC Alien exhaust. This is what it ended up costing here. And if you just go, as you go down the list here, the total parts is $2,277.72. Pretty steep, but it's really not that bad considering what it is. So this quad better be badass or I'm gonna be pissed off. Okay guys, so while I'm waiting for the parts, I'm gonna get cracking on the crank. I'm gonna split those cases. We already have that crankshaft. We'll put the new crank in there. Hopefully everything checks out on the internals of the engine. And then I can start assembling the engine. I can port the head. I can do my flywheel mods. I can pretty much get the bottom end entirely together while I'm waiting for the piston. We'll see, but hopefully the parts will come in quickly. And I will also be doing the tires first thing tomorrow. And then otherwise, it's just gonna be waiting for the parts. And like I said, guys, I'm just really hoping that all this stuff comes in really soon. So if you guys are enjoying these videos, again, please give me that thumbs up. That helps me out big time. Comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of my $500 Predator. Is this thing a piece of junk? You think it's going to be better than the Raptor 660? Am I even going to be able to get this thing running? I don't know. So please let me know in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next video. If you guys want the Quad Wars shirt that has the 400EX on it, you can click that in the description below as well. It's a freaking sweet shirt. I'm actually going to be getting one of those in the mail soon. You'll probably see it in some of the future videos. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.